Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here, and today, as we enter week 3 of Import Month, we're going to take a look at another toy that made a brief appearance earlier in my series. This time around, we're going to take a look at another European exclusive. We're taking a look now at the Action Master version of Trax. Now, this version of Trax was released in Europe only in 1981, and he would only be on the shelves for that year, as the Generation 1 line was taken out of circulation in Europe in 1992. And of course, when we compare him side by side with his original form, we can notice that there is quite a considerable difference between the two, although it does pay some tribute to the original, and let's take a look at that for right now. First, get his little buddy out of the way. We'll zoom in on the two of them. There we go, that's good. Of course, naturally, the most obvious is the elaborate headgear isn't copied over, which is something of a disappointment. It is kind of nice that they do have some impression of wheels on the Action Master's shoulder. They're a bit small, but it does carry over the wheel design that the original toy had. I'm not sure if the wing fin things here on his shoulders being sloped back are meant to emulate the white wings on the original figure. That's kind of one of those debatable things. Probably the biggest thing to be upset over is the placement here of the flame job, as that is now, as you can see by the way the chest detail is, this is now on the roof of the car, whereas on the original toy, by turning him around, you could see the flame job was on the hood of the car. So that's a bit of a disappointment. It's nice that they did put it on there as an homage to the original one, but it is kind of disappointing that it's on his chest, which would basically be the roof of the car where very few would see it, instead of being as two stickers back here on his backside. Probably better in the long run, but that's my opinion on that issue there, folks. Now, with the original toy out of our way, we'll take a better look at Trax, and we'll go now with the articulation on the figure, and his would be pretty much standard for most of the Action Masters. There is some sort of ability to rotate his head from side to side. Does have a joint at the shoulder that allows you to rotate his arm as such. Some metal bar here in between the legs, so it allows you to raise the legs up at about 90 degrees, and he does have a joint at the knee so that they can be bent 90 degrees. But of course, remember, as these figures do get old, you do want to hold the legs together, as that metal bar and the plastic legs do tend to wear loose over time. Now, unlike many of the American Action Masters, well, Trax here can hold his gun. Hope he's not trying to shoot for insects here. Trax here can hold his gun, but there is no way for his assistant, Basher, over here to hold the gun as well. Take a closer look here at Basher. As you can see, he's a miniature tank of some sorts. We would guess Cybertronian design. And unfortunately, underneath him, he does not have any real treads. They're all just fake treads, so not even little wee wheels. So he just basically scoots along any surface, making somewhat annoying noises as he grates along it. Slides pretty good on this table, but he probably wouldn't do the same on carpet. The articulation that Basher has is that the guns can be rotated from this position to just shy of 180 degrees. So he's got pretty good articulation on the cannons. He can shoot just about anything directly in front and almost directly behind him. Now comes the interesting part about this Action Master, folks, because unlike the ones that we saw here in America, Basher here does not become an extension of Trax's gun. Basher instead becomes a battle suit. So to transform him into the battle suit, we first hold him in a position like this. You'll take the treads, you'll just pop them loose and fold them all the way down. As you can see here up close, there's a little hole in the side of the body. It's where posts like, get this out of the way here, a little tiny post here just above the smaller of the two sets of treads. That's what holds them in when he's in tank mode. And then, of course, you're going to push this little black lever. Hold these down so you can see it. This little black lever will release the top of the tank and spring it forward like that. Then you'll take the battle suit and plug this knob into the hole in Trax's backside. And then you'll fold the top of the tank up and over and on top of Trax's head. And there he is in battle suit mode. Yeah, I'm seeing it here too, folks. This looks weird. I mean, in many ways, it's bringing up similar comments like what Luke Skywalker said in the Millennium Falcon during his lightsaber training, or even the outtake bit from Jango Fett in the Bounty Hunter video games. I can't see a thing out of this helmet. I mean, in some ways, nice boost in firepower, because I would assume, dreaded word there, assume that Trax in this merged form would have access to be able to control those cannons. I'm hoping there's some sort of heads-up display in there that allows him to, if nothing else, see where in the heck he's going. Let's see, turn around to the back side, or at least look at the side. Nope, it's not looking any better here, folks. This looks pretty silly. Okay, now, moving right along, for those of you who haven't been too creeped out to leave this channel at the moment, and I do appreciate you hanging around, folks, let's take a look at Action Master Trax and his accessories. Starting once again with Basher. So you can get a good look at Basher here. All in all, he's not a bad-looking tank. I mean, the let's face it, the turret here is kind of wonky due to the fact that it's also doubling as a helmet. And of course, I really am not digging the color here. This is about the time when Hasbro was really going gung-ho with the neon colors. Bright neon colors in military-themed toys. I mean, in some cases it might work for the Transformers due to them being aliens and whatnot, but Hasbro also applied colors like this onto their G.I. Joe toys. No, that doesn't work. And then, of course, we also have his gun. Thankfully, according to the instructions, it is still labeled as the Black Beam gun, which is the exact same gun that the original toy had. It's kind of nice. I mean, the knob back here I'm not really thrilled with. The foregrip here on the front's kind of nice. But the addition of this tank on the top of it makes me wonder, is this powered? Is this some sort of oversized squirt gun or flamethrower of some sort? I really don't know, folks. It looks weird to me. I mean, of course, we're all entitled to our own opinions, but I'm just not feeling it. It just looks too weird. Moving right along, before we show off the packaging, people have often asked me, those that have known that I've had this toy, as to where in the world did I manage to get it. And like a fair amount of them, they came from Transformerland.com. Highly recommend you check them out, that you check that out if you haven't done so already. But when I did purchase Trax, I was able to get a complete, semi-decently intact card backer, complete with the blister bubble here on the front. Trax would be situated in here. Up here would be where the gun was kept, and Basher hangs out in there. And it looks like down here when he was sold at a Toys R Us, and despite the smudging in there, I would say that he was probably retailed for about £3.87. Start around here to the back side, and as you can see, they kept up the power plans bit, which kind of looks like it's using something of a prototype of Trax, since the blue's a little darker than what it was on the final product, and he's also got red eyes instead of the orange. And they got green in here where it was silver, but anywho. And they're still pretty much as weird and silly as they always were. Now, these instructions are going to be a little different, since as you can see, there isn't any text to tell you what to do. But as you can see here, this one up here just shows what he includes. And over here, position the gun in his hand, and then how to fit the armor onto him. And of course, as you can see, he was worth 1.5 robot points. And we move down here to his tech specs. It's got the picture that matches the one that's right here on the front of the package. It's done in red to signify he's an Autobot, and even says that he is one. And it gives his name as Trax and lists his function as Warrior. And his motto is, looking good is what life is all about, which is nice. These did not change from the original toy. A super cool cruiser with a knack for flashy maneuvering. He loves looking good. Although when he was in that battle armor, I don't think that was looking good. Always washing and waxing his armor for a dazzling shine. Often feels the battle hasn't really started until he gets there. Does everything with a flair that seems to attract attention. Now, usually when you're trying to attract attention, you usually end up attracting the wrong kind of attention. A bit self-absorbed. Seriously? A bit self-absorbed, but extremely powerful and well-equipped in battle. Armed with a devastating black beam gun that fires concussion bursts of billowing black gas that momentarily blind enemy forces. Okay, so now we know what that tank is there on the top. It shoots gas. Armored vehicle Basher is equipped with infrared scanners, remote-controlled surveillance cameras, heat-seeking missiles, and laser beam tripwires for short-range convert operations. Now, convert, that throws me off a little bit. I'm thinking they might have meant covert operations, but I'm not really sure. Basher combines with Trax to form interactive bodysuit with intelligent weapon system. Okay, so I'm guessing then when Basher's merged with Trax, Trax then gains control of everything, and supposedly is more intelligent than the drone here. I could see that. Bringing back the tech spec. Take a look here. It's done in the vertical bar graph, which Hasbro initiated in 1990. It lists his strength as 8, his intelligence is 7, his speed is 6, his endurance is 9, his rank is 6, his courage is 7, his firepower is 10, and his skill is 8. But how does that stack up to the original? Well, here's the original tech spec. We'll just hold it above here and take a look at it for comparison's sake. His strength has went up a couple of points, and he's gained a point in intelligence, so that's good. His speed, however, appears to have dropped by 1. He's made an incredible gain in endurance. Rank went up at least 1 notch, so he's obviously been promoted since getting off the shelves. Courage has went up considerably. Not at least only by 1. Firepower made an exceptional increase, but of course he's now got Basher to provide some of that. And his skill has left unchanged. So while he's stronger and smarter and a little better defended, he's not any better at his job. Curious. Now to my thoughts. What do I think of the Action Master version of Trax? I like the fact that it's different. Hear me out on that, folks. I know the Action Masters are not popular amongst the fandom, but do hear me out on it. All the ones that were released as the carded figures here in the United States, regardless of what kind of little accessory the buddy figure there was, they always became the same thing, an extension for their gun. And since many of them could not hold the gun properly, that got old very fast. So, seeing this, where the accessory guy becomes a battle suit, that's an improvement. It's different. It brings something new to the table. And I think we might have appreciated the line a little bit better if they had allowed some of the different things to happen. But unfortunately, we never got the chance to try that due to the fact that sales for the Transformer toys kind of died in 1990, the year before Trax here got to be re-released. So we Americans kind of missed out on that. Am I sorry about that? Not really. As far as they go, this one's kind of a disappointment with the way Basher fits on him. I mean, there's no clear way to tell if Trax is even able to see out through him. The bright green really doesn't go well with the blue on Trax. And you would figure for a guy that's all about looking good, he'd want the battle suit to look good as well. And no matter what, it doesn't. It just does not work. But we should also take into consideration Trax is something of a popular figure amongst the fandom. And as of this moment, he's still one of them that Michael Bay hasn't ruined in his movies, so he does have that going for him. Although he does seem cocky enough that one should wonder why he has not yet been included in the movies. Overall, this toy, it's not a bad one. I mean, if you can find him at a reasonable price, I would say get him to add to your collection, just so you have an oddity in your collection to boast about to some of your friends and fellow Transformer fans. But otherwise, I wouldn't really bother with him unless you are a major fan of Trax. And that concludes my review of the Generation 1 Autobot Action Master version of Trax. If you like the video, please thumbs up it here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. And please do like this video and share comments. I'd love to hear your feedback and your thoughts regarding this toy. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.